Today's reading is Bob Velseb from the Sexypedia Wiki. Spoilers ahead! This article contains major spoilers about the sexy person and or their source material. Please proceed with caution. Warning! The creator of the source material is known to be controversial. The fact that this character is present on the wiki does not mean that any member of the staff, the creator of this wiki page, nor any editors or the creator of this video condone the creator's actions. This also applies to any company or creative associated with the character, as well as any prominent fan who contributed to the fan discussed on this page. Reason: Senor Pello, the creator of Spooky Month, had defended Shadman in the past. Bob Velseb is a character who appears in Spooky Month, a series of Halloween shorts by YouTuber Senor Pello. Initially a one-off character who briefly appeared in the first short, fans immediately started to take a lot more interest in him following his reappearance as the main antagonist of Spooky Month 5, Tender Treats, resulting in him exploding in popularity across various social platforms. His class is Keter, his main alias is The Devil Butcher, and his source is Spooky Month. Basic information: Bob is a southern serial killer cannibal who, according to the local authority, Mayor Evermore, seems to take victims primarily on the day of Halloween. Evidently, and according to a newspaper article within the episode, he's also earned a nickname as the town's known Devil, no doubt due to his partial costume and red devilish attire. He's bloodthirsty and sadistic, traversing deliberately slow and quiet, wearing a near-perpetual grin on his face, taking utmost pleasure in the fear of his victims, and producing a motif of reciting disturbing facts pertaining to cannibalism or meat to his victims or would-be victims. In fact, a majority of his considerably minimal dialogue is dominated by these facts, with everything else coming out of his mouth serving as a threat in some form. It's also implied by a particular photograph hanging in his home, as well as the many bodily artifacts and bloody tools littered on the floor of said home, as well as the fact that he ripped one of his victims' arm off and ate it raw off screen, that he has a particular fondness for torturing his victims physically. However, as part of a comedy series, he seems a little one-track minded, stalking Spooky Month protagonists Skid and Pump, as well as Skid's mother, Lila, all throughout the episode, but often getting sidetracked by or momentarily stopped in his tracks with Candy. While his debut is dedicated to the serial killer persona and behavior, it's also known that he used to work as a butcher and possibly be the owner of a local burger joint called Boys and Grills, having catered a local event that Lila attended when she was younger, as seen by an old photograph she shows Skid toward the end of the episode. She's visibly frightened by said photograph, and outright denies that the man in the photo could be the same one that attacked her that night, implying some kind of earlier history between them. He first appears in the series' first episode, It's Spooky Month, where he's depicted holding Lila at knife point until she distracts him with Candy. He does the spooky dance before Jack and John barge in and arrest him, as elaborated in Spooky Month 5, which is where he returns as the episode's revitalized antagonist. Important to note, Spooky Month started off as a gag short before culminating into something more story-driven. He breaks into Lila's home in an attempt to kill her, but ends up failing, terrorizing others before later pursuing Skid and Pump. This too he fails at, being hit by the car of policemen Jack and John shortly before catching up with them. After a couple erratic and desperate attempts to kill them, Lila and John, he's shot numerous times and run over repeatedly until he finally dies. This episode's secondary secret ending, of which can be found on Newgrounds, reveals he was wearing the same pendant the show's big bad, the cultists, have, implying the cult broke him out and they worked together. This has further been confirmed by art Senor Pello has made, depicting him in cult robes and interacting with or being near other cultists. Archetypes: Criminal. He is a notorious serial killer who was caught and arrested before escaping the local jail to terrorize the townsfolk once more. In Spooky Month 4, at the very end of the episode, he can be seen on TV wearing his inmate outfit during a news report of his escape. Distinctive voice/laugh. He has a deep and gravelly southern drawl, with a hearty hysterical laugh he belts during both the ending and latter half of the episode. Dominating/brick shithouse. With an unyielding beady stare, a near-perpetual stretched grin, and a stature as tall and foreboding as he is fat, his presence alone poses a threat to almost everyone he gets near, and stands as one of the taller characters in the cast, at least as of pre-Spooky Month 7. Eye imagery. Given his affiliations with the cult, that cult whose deity is a creature defined by the countless eyes it has, he sports teal irises that only appear toward the end of the episode just before he's shot, sticking with him until he's finally died. It's also worth noting that after being shot, the glare of his eyes turned reddish, implying tears, or that the blood vessels in his eyes possibly having burst. Intelligence. There's something to be said about the fact that he is yet to be caught despite his incredibly obvious nature, possibly indicating a heightened intelligence on his end, or lacking competence from the local authorities, or simply a lot of cult intervention behind the scenes. Regardless, His vast knowledge of meat, preparation of human bodies, and history involving cannibalism shows an avid fixation on the subject of what he does, if not an acute education in it. Knife murder. Literally. His signature weapon is a fillet knife, often accompanied with a honing rod. Beyond that, notably, he's wearing a tool belt that holds various other sharp cutlery and even a seasoning bottle, all with the explicit intended purpose of consuming his victims. Demonic/monster features. Obviously demonically themed, he wears a partial red devil costume with a horned mask and red clawed gloves. Fans like to take this to the next level and depict him as an actual demon or with demonic features. Mysterious. So far, there is no whole lot to know about Bob that doesn't have to do with his cannibalistic practices and serial killer nature, and even that knowledge is baseline and vague. There's little to no indication of his personality or history beyond his statism and the fact that he has some kind of history with the town locals, and most certainly the cult. Furthermore, creator Senor Pello appears all too happy to keep his plans and ideas for the show under wraps, so it'll be a while, if ever, before any new or revealing details are given, leaving fans to speculate and fill in the gaps themselves. Non-human/power. It takes a great effort to finally kill him, having been able to withstand numerous bullets, and being hit by/run over by Jack and John's cop car repeatedly. Given the cultist amulet in his chest had sustained visible damage, it could be possible that immense his stamina was at least due in part to it, if not his cult affiliations otherwise. Perpetual Smiler. It's as the name implies. Bob's incessant, wide and drooling grin is a signature feature of his design. Quotable catchphrase. What are you gonna do? Season me? His last words before he was indeed seasoned. Did you know that if you eat a human brain, you get a disease similar to mad cow? Religious imagery. Bob Velseb's name is a subtle reference to Beelzebub, a demon found in some Abrahamic religions who is best known for representing the sin of gluttony. Beyond that, there is the obvious affiliation to the cult. Interestingly, he's also been drawn with a hidden reference to Genesis 9:3, which states the following: "Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything." Theme song. A piercing piano motif known as the Devil Butcher plays whenever he's on screen. Compliments to the chef. The ending theme of Spooky Month 5 could also fall under this category. Villain. See above.